Howdy Earthlings, in the previous guide video I talked about one of the new plushies, Spinette. In this one we're going to talk about the plushie that's the boss of their shared floor. This one is going to be a little shorter as Maestro doesn't really compare well to any Dandy's World tune, so Maestro is being measured on their own merits here. No comparison. Let's start with about Maestro. As a plushie, Maestro has a pretty clear and well-defined role. He's a non-healing support and repair plushie. With 6 health, that's 60 HP, 3 stamina, which is 80 points, 7 speed, 4 stealth, and 5 efficiency, Maestro's stats lend well to this role. But the main defining attribute of this role is his abilities. Captive Audience is an active ability that boosts the repair speed and speed of all plushies regardless of the distance by 25% for 20 seconds, but he only receives a 15% version of this buff. Maestro's passive is a fun one. In my first video on Dandy's World, I pitched a tune based on me where their machine speed or movement speed would increase over time. Stage Presence is that same general idea, so I'm already really big fan of this one. Stage Presence increases Maestro's efficiency the longer he's on a plushie maker. Basically, as you repair the contraption, the passive will gain stacks or value until reaching its cap. Each increase in stacks or value increases his efficiency. Once you get off the contraptions, the stacks will decay. As they decay, you'll lose the bonus speed over time. This passive makes Maestro excellent for the newly introduced tough machines. If you haven't done these yet, starting around floor 15, you will begin to see golden doohickeys on the map. These take longer to finish by adding an additional layer of repairs. Once the first layer is completed, you get bonus Dolly bucks. Then the original layer has to be done. They take a little longer, but aren't too bad until you get to the higher floors where there's a lot more of them. Maestro is able to handle these machines quite well. Zoro does these machines well too, as long as he co-ops with his clone. But since Maestro's stage presence decays over time, you can quickly run to another doohickey and keep some of that buff. Maestro isn't just great for tough machines, but like his passive, the longer the run goes and the more doohickeys there are, the more useful he becomes. Also, the stacks are really cute. It's a bunch of little plushies cheering for Maestro. I love it. Now, when I streamed last time, I was curious what affected the gain speed of presence. I thought it might have been possible that it was either affected by repair progress or efficiency. After comparing Maestro with Workaholic and Dog Tag to Maestro with no charms, it turns out that presence is gained based on the time spent on machines. In the clip, you can see that despite finishing the crank faster, the Maestro with lower efficiency had more presence. This doesn't mean much in terms of gameplay, just that you shouldn't equip efficiency charms expecting more presence. Just expect faster repairs, which is normal. How to unlock Maestro? Alright, Maestro is sick, so you want to unlock him. Of course you do. He's great. Look at him. First, you need 3,500 Dolly bucks, Spinette unlocked and bought, and 75% research on Reject Maestro. That means 6,000 Dolly bucks total. This will take a little while, about 3 hours of constant play and resets after getting his floor. That's because Maestro is more rare than Spinette and more in line with how long it takes to unlock other boss plushies like Jellybell and Coda, although with less total research required. The Spinette requirement isn't too bad. Since 3 Spinettes appear on Maestro's floor, you're getting 3 times as much research for Spinette than other sidekick rejects, so it'll take you half as long as Triton or Queenie did, despite requiring more research than either of those two. The research for Maestro is more time consuming since you're getting less research per floor. If you want to get him faster, play until you get his floor, get the research, then restart the run. This took me about 3 hours with a full group. Thankfully, I had the Dolly bucks saved up in advance. If you want the most Dolly bucks, increase the amount of tough machines with the train upgrade, use the rewarding work charm, use all the codes, and remember to log in daily. Maestro's Charm. Director's Cut is a charm that reduces ability cooldown speed by a max of 12%. Since this is a percentage-based scaling, it's going to be better on cooldowns that are longer. This is a decent fit for Maestro as his cooldown is 80 seconds long. It'll save Maestro about 10 seconds. It isn't much, but if you don't know what else to put on Maestro for his third charm slot, you could do worse than Director's Cut. Personally, I think you'll find Director's Cut more useful on Spinette since she has more total cooldown, both in time and the frequency due to having 3 charges. How to play. Maestro works great solo or as part of a team. Either way, your mission is a simple one. Get in, find a machine, buff, then complete the machine. If you have multiple Maestros, you should coordinate your buff use with them. Wait for theirs to end, then use yours so that you have more total uptime for your buff. As Maestro though, you should prioritize tough machines as you're best suited to finishing them quickly. Builds. Here's some builds that I use. They're not the best, they're just what I use. Since Maestro's presence is based off of time on machines, I don't sweat having a bunch of efficiency. His speed is also pretty high at base, and with his buff, I don't find it super necessary to increase his movement speed. But outside of focusing on these elements of play, I don't think we have a lot of options. So here's the 3 that I use, and I kinda use them on most characters. Solo quality. A quality build is one where each charm does something different. In solo, you typically want to finish as fast as possible. So I'd suggest Carrot Rush, Workaholic, and a flexible third slot for whatever your goal is. If you need survivability, you can use Fortis Stitch. You could use rewarding work for money, but if you're playing solo, I don't know how long you're actually going to play for, so that's up to you. And lastly, you could use Director's Cut for cooldown. But this mix of charms lets Maestro have speed for part collection, repair speed for machines, and a slot to fix anything you might view as a weakness. Solo Quantity. Quantity focuses on specialization through redundancy. You're usually fixing a weakness on an otherwise near flawless character, or you're doing what I'm doing here by making Maestro's main focus better. For this, I do Carrot Rush, Dog Tag, and Workaholic. This gives a 60% boost to repair speed and 20% movement speed. Maestro is fast and repairs fast, so why not make him faster? This also works alright for letting Maestro focus on machines and part collection. Co-op Quantity. This quantity build is about efficiency speed. Since you're playing co-op, we can get pretty fast. Workaholic, Cupid, and Dog Tag is super overkill, but you'd get 100% or more efficiency while playing co-op, 115% when you use your buff. You'll be very fast on machines, but I think you won't be as helpful with part collection or jelly stage aside from your buff. If you want to help with part collections, consider the solo quality build Carrot, Work, and Flex slot. Review. Overall, Maestro's peak design. Maestro screams main character. His abilities make him a great plushie for solo and co-op play. I don't really have any complaints on anything about them. I think the cooldown makes sense when you consider the unlimited range and the power of this buff. 7 people are getting a 25% speed and repair speed buff. That's crazy. Their passive isn't flashy, but it feels strong enough that it could be a plushie's only ability, and I'd still find that plushie good. So that we get a speed and a repair speed buff, and a repair speed passive, that's just great. Good value. I think maybe I'd want to move some of his stats around, but he's fine as is. It works. Alright, that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching, and thanks to the supporters on Patreon and members on YouTube like Gezro, Am, Napazit, Aspirin Artist, Paper, Faye Penguin, Momentary Unicorn, Nat, Mariusini, Worm Syrup, Rask, Beef, Colorado Blue, Vaderson, Linky, Addy14, The Ace of Raccoons, Blackjack, Rask again, Willie Pete, TG Dante, Linky again, Astro Pixie YT, and Melding Brick. I'll see you later. I really need to get moving. The floor just lit up and I think I'm about to get smacked. Bye.